All right, it is Bueller and Dodge once again, bringing you some fun right here. We have the undefeated Sage Northcutt, who is fighting this Saturday live from New Jersey. It is UFC on Fox 18, Johnson versus Bader. Now, Sage, you're 7-0. You're taking your opponent on 1 week notice. Brian Barberina is your opponent, right? So how is this 1 week notice thing affecting you?
Yes, sir. So taking my opponent on a 1 week notice. And, my previous opponent that I was going to fight was actually lightweight. And my opponent broke his foot, so he had to pull out of the fight. So I had already dieted down and cut the food back to be able to start making weight, getting close to lightweight, 155. And you can imagine with just 1 week, you're pretty close to that weight. And then you're kind of maintaining that. And now I found out that I'm fighting at welterweight, 170. So now my new opponent at 170, I get to eat and I get to eat up and be really strong. So now I'm gaining back that muscle on the street.
So lasagna and ice cream, right?
Yes, I know.
So this is your second. Is this your second fight in the UFC?
This is actually my third fight, believe it or not. So my first fight was October 3rd. That was my UFC debut in Houston.
Holy crap.
And then my second fight, which was my last fight, I had December 10th in Las Vegas. And now I have January 30th, just in a few days, or coming up in New Jersey right here.
How are you able to turn it around so quickly and fight? I mean, that's 3 times in basically just as many months.
Yes, sir, you're right. So I think the key to that is definitely always training and preparing to have a fight. So always being ready, but also staying protected, like injury-free. That way you're always ready to fight when you need to. So I think that has a big aspect of it. When you come out of a fight, stay injury-free. That's super, super big, super important.
Right.
How the hell do you stay so positive, man? You sound like Buddy the Elf over here.
Thanks, I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm having a lot of fun.
I mean, you're getting a lot of flack from some of the other fighters in the UFC as far as your pay, as far as you being able to have such a quick turnaround and fighting where they're having to wait 5-6 months. How do you respond to any of that?
I believe that I bring something of value to the UFC, and when they're talking about the pay, I wish that everybody can make as much money as possible. I would like everybody in the UFC to make as much money as they possibly can. Just like Conor McGregor and Ronda Rousey, they're great for the sport, and they're setting the bar for everybody. So the amount of money that they're making, they're helping all of us out too. So I just want everybody to be able to make as much money as they can with the UFC, and I'm thankful for what I'm doing, but I believe that I bring something of value to the UFC, and I believe that the UFC realizes that.
Now,
what is it that you're bringing that's different than some of the other fighters?
What I'm bringing that's different than some of the other fighters is, I guess, drawing. I mean, there's other fighters that do the same thing, obviously, but with me, I think they can see the value because I believe that I'm drawing people to be able to come in and watch, and I'm having fun with all the media. I'm enjoying all of it, and I believe that kind of draws a different kind of crowd, different kind of people, and obviously you want as many people to be able to tune in around the world and be able to watch the event and watch the UFC, so I believe that's good for the UFC.
How is the UFC affecting your schooling? You're a petroleum engineering major at Texas A&M. Is that still going on, or are you taking a break from that?
Yes, sir, you're right. So the schooling's still going on. I've just actually cut back the amount of classes that I was doing. So instead of being a full-time student like I was, I've had to cut back the classes to make just a minimum amount of classes. That way I can stay enrolled, still keep up with the school, but I can also travel and train for my fights coming up. So that's pretty much the only way it's affected. It's still a lot of workload. If you can imagine, engineering itself is a lot of work, but it's all fun.
So tell me this,
Petroleum engineering, is that what he said?
Petroleum engineering, yeah.
So what the hell is that?
It's pretty much the engineering. It's big to do in Texas because it has a lot to do with the oil and the gas. And right now, the oil and the gas prices are down in Texas, but I believe in the future they'll be going back up in a few years, hopefully. So that's what it has to do with, mostly the oil and the gas.
Whoa, what do you mean hopefully the gas prices go back up? I don't need that, man.
Yeah, seriously. What kind of engineer are you? You're trying to get our gas prices back up?
Not that way. Everybody loves low pump gas prices. Everybody loves filling up your car for cheaper, so that's good.
Yeah.
Just there's oil in everything, so even plastic.
Oh, yeah.
Even the plastic has oil in it. So there's many different things that have oil and have to do with, like, fracking, for instance, and what the engineers have to do. So just in that regards.
Yeah, so does my lube. Sage Northcutt, you're 19 years old. You're undefeated. You're fighting in the UFC. You're a petroleum engineering major at Texas A&M. You look like you're carved out of wood. You're one of Dana White's poster children. I got to know, man, has a woman ever told you no for a date?
Oh, thank you very much. First off, and that's super nice. I don't know how to answer that.
That's simple, man. Has a woman have you ever asked a woman out and she was like, I'm good?
Oh, there's not a time that I can remember, but right now I'm focusing more on the fighting, so I'm not I guess going out with anybody right now.
I wish I had your problems, man. I really do. So what do you do when you're 19 years old and you're undefeated and you're fighting in the UFC? I mean, how do you celebrate? What do you do, man?
So being 19 years old in the UFC, I'm currently the youngest UFC fighter in the UFC. So doing that along with the schoolwork, you can imagine that's a lot of that's pretty hectic with the workload and everything you have to do.
Totally.
Then fitting in time for training and stuff. But it's actually really all fun. So doing the school's fun. Doing all the media, talking to everybody, getting to introduce and meet new people, that's always fun. Then getting to travel for the UFC and fight for the UFC, that's amazing. So all this is definitely a blast for sure.
So can Dodge and I both say that Sage Northcutt is our new best friend?
Thank you.
He didn't answer.
Hey, man, we got one more question for you. It's a question that we ask all the fighters that call in here for the first time. It's a who would win in a fight question, and it's something that Dodge came up with. So, Dodge, go ahead and take it from here, man.
All right, Sage. Who's going to win in a fight? A bear with machine guns for hands and feet, or a pterodactyl that poops chainsaws?
Whoa. I think you would have to go with the pterodactyl because it can just fly overhead, and I don't know, if it can dodge those bullets, that'd be pretty hard. That's a good one. Actually, you know what? I have to go with the bear.
Oh, well, we're
It's got
flip-flopping
machine
here.
guns from, like, everywhere.
Yeah, so we went from pterodactyl to team bear. All right.
Well, he's from Texas. Of course he's going to go with the guns.
Yeah, this is true. All right, so Sage Northcutt, it's going down this weekend. January 30th is the day. Make sure you check it out. The main event is Johnson versus Bader. It's Sage Northcutt is taking on Brian Barberina. Sage, of course, 7-0. We wish you the best of luck this weekend. UFC on Fox 18. Thank you so much for calling in, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.